Hi everybody, how is everybody doing today? So, last Friday I gave everybody the heads up on my upcoming videos and what they would entail. So I really want to make myself a journal. I had an idea of what I sort of wanted to do in mind, but I'm torn on what way to go with it. And I don't want to start doing the journal only to find that halfway through the colours that I'm using weren't the right colours that I really wanted to go with. So this is my little journal that I've literally got. I might take some of the pages out and add to. And I've also got a little calendar. Both things came with my, in different boxes, but came from Ali and Crafty Bonbons. Ali and Debbie. So because I don't really want to start on this in case I do the wrong colours, I'm just torn. I don't know which colours to do, and I don't want to start it like I say and only to find out I've used the wrong colours and I've spoilt my book. So what I'm gonna do, my journal's gonna be quite chunky, only because I'm gonna be doing this. And I'm also going to be doing this, and it'll all go into one book. This is what I'm going to be doing tonight. So, because I want to play about with what papers I have, what downloadable papers I've downloaded from Etsy, the things I've bought as a PDF, those kind of things. Because I want to play about with it and see what way my mind is going, I've printed off a couple of vintage papers that I've bought via PDF, and then I've got things like this. Now I'm gonna do in my mind I want to do something, I want to do vintage, but I don't want to go like browns. I don't want to really go dark with it. I almost want to do like an antique vintage flower garden sort of thing, and that's why I'm torn, because I don't know what colours to use. As you can see, there's like two different colours going on. I do want to use obviously brown, but I don't want to make my pages that dark. I want to keep them quite light, so I don't know whether I'm going to tea dye them, I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be building I'm going to be building a, should we call it, what can we call it? I'll have a think while I'm describing it to you. So this little book, I'll have a think what I'm going to call it now. It's going to have like samples of colours I might want to test and use in my journal. It's going to have fabrics that I might want to add. It'll have different papers that I want to add. It's not going to be chunky like this one. It's barely going to have any papers in it, but those papers are going to give me sort of an idea then, an inspiration to go with this, because like I say, I don't want to just jump into the journal and then find out I didn't actually want it to be that dark, or didn't want it to be that light. It doesn't look antique vintage. So I've decided that I don't want the little, I don't know what to call it. Should we call, what can we call it? I can't even think. I'm going to have to think on that, and you'll probably guess by the title, but at the moment I can't think of a name. But we're going to build this little book up. I don't want it to be really thick. This is quite a nice size to do because it's smaller than the actual journal itself, miles smaller, but it'll all go into the same journal. This will be at the front because I want to be able to say, well, actually I sort of planned the colours, I planned the fabrics, and I sort of tested it all out before I started doing this, so it will be at the front. I'm hoping that I'll keep a page at the back, maybe, or one or two pages. I'll keep pages at the back where I can say that actually I quite like that colour but I don't want to use it with this colour, or I like that paper but I need to tea dye them. So it'll be sort of an idea, inspiration, the backboard, like a blackboard sort of thing at the back to reference when I come to the end of this one. So this will be a reference journal. This will be a reference journal to come to this. So because, like I said, I'm not going to start on this. This is not going to have many pages. At the minute, it's got these pages have come, I bought a multimedia watercolour. You can use anything on it, but it's a book. And I've literally just torn 2 pages out of it. Now, it's really good for watercolours. You can use it for watercolours and it just sits there nice. So this is probably the size that I'll probably end up doing. And it is 6 by just over 4 inches, just 4¼ maybe inches. So I've printed off, like I say, some of these, and they've all come from different shops, and I can't remember what shops have had which off, so my apologies in advance, I can't remember. So I like the idea of doing an antique vintage rather than it being too dark. And like I say, I want to be able to add flowers in and that kind of thing. So I think I'm going to have that one there. And I'm just planning this out so that I can begin working on it. It's a little bit short, but it doesn't matter. And anything I don't use, I'll probably use in the big journal. I'm going to fold this in half. Right, and I think I'm going to make that into a pocket and have my pocket by there. I can still add to it if I want to. I've also got blue. I kind of like the idea of having blue in there. This is what I mean. I don't want to make it too dark. I think I'll have it. Oh, I could have it that way, couldn't I? Just had a thought. And it's not going to be very big either. I'll tell you how many pages because I'll probably end up sewing this tonight. Sewing it all together so I can start building my colours. Right, and then I think I'm going to, I have got this, which I kind of like the idea of. Do you see what I mean now? Oh, see, that's nice. Yeah, and then I'm going to trim. I want some of this, but I want it so that the birds, because there are birds and butterflies on here. It's hard to work out what way to go with it, really. I think I'm just going to go that way. I'm not really going to think about where the paper's going or what direction. I know it's got birds and butterflies and they go in a certain direction, but the idea of this is that I'm not thinking too much and I'm just like building it up so I can add to it. I'm going to move that on my way and I'm going to put that just there, and I think that there. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to add, I want to add one more thing in the middle, but I don't know whether I should add a, these are my papers, see I've got loads of papers left. I don't want to make it overcrowded. I could add these when it comes to adding things in. So I have, these are many pages I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got actual 24 pages because it's front and back. But I do want to add, I might leave that completely plain in the middle, because when it comes to the big journal, I want to add envelopes. So I might put some ideas here on what I can put in the middle of my big journal rather than the other way around. So that is it for my papers, building it up. I don't want to know my papers anymore. Right, now I want to sew this together while I got it in my mind. And I'm just going to make sure I might cut, oh no, I'm just going to make sure everything is lined up the way I want it to be lined up. And I did say I was going to make a pocket somewhere. I think before I sew it up, I just want to make, I'm going to just draw a line because I want to take some off this paper. And the reason I want to do that is because it's because I want it to be a bit smaller. So I'll do. Right, and these then I'll keep and pop in the main journal. So I want to make a pocket, I said, and I'm going to sew this to make 2 pockets. So I've got some things, if I want to add vintage fabrics, I can pop them in and add them. So that is it. I'm going to go and sew this while I got it in my hand. But basically I want to sew down here. I want to leave the spine and leave a little bit of an inch. I'll go and sew this and then I'll come back to you and show you exactly where I've sewed it. So I did a little bit of sewing as well while I was off camera. So the first thing to share with you is I have them pockets. So this is going to be my little inspiration book. So I've got sewed these in. I've left a little bit of gap all the way around. I am going to be adding to them so they won't stay like this. I made this pocket quite short because my plan is to tuck things in it and then write on the side. The pages are blank in the middle. I've got a deep pocket here, and then as we go through the book, that's the book. So that is going to be my little inspiration board. Now to kick this off, I might do this in steps rather than doing all in one go. The only thing I will say is I have got some emulsion paint out as well as watercolours, because I want to play about with colours and to see what works best and what doesn't. Now, like I say, I want to do sort of a vintage antique rather than dark brown vintage, and see where I go from there. I also want to add some flowers. So to give me a little bit of inspiration tomorrow, I am going to pack this up as if I've bought it for myself, because when you pack things up, it gives you that little bit of inspiration anyway. So I'm going to gather my pieces, and I'm going to go with the colours that are on the papers. I'm not going to even look at my paints at the minute. I'm just going to pick some ephemera, music paper and stuff, the colours that match my newspaper and my papers I have already, and then go from there, and then you'll see me. So I'm going to fast forward this section and I will be back once I've finished. So I'm back. So what I've done is I've gathered a ton of like little pieces, as you saw. So now, to make it inspiring to get into those pieces, I'm going to wrap it up. I know it sounds daft, but when something is nicely wrapped, it makes you want to go in and have a look what's going on. Now this has got a bit of a vintage thing on it. It says the fragrance of a rose makes you a happy feeling. Never something seen such a beautiful butterfly. So it's sort of on the wavelength of being vintage. Right, so I'm going to wrap that up as if I am sending it to someone, or if I've bought it, either or. And I've got one last thing to add to this, which I'm going to go and get now. Bear with me while I go and get it. Okay, so I've gathered a little bit of fabrics as well. They're not much, but they're just little bits and pieces. And I might pop them just in there. Oops. Like so, if I can put them in. Without everything dropping out. Put that in there. Right. Now this is what I wanted to add. Let me move everything out of the way. So in here, I always press flowers, and I tend to do it in spring. Sometimes I'll do it in summer, but it's just an old book that I bought from the charity shop, and that I just specifically use for my pressing of my flowers, if I can find any in here. Okay, I'm looking for an actual stem. I thought I had some. These are my bluebells. Before anybody says I didn't pick them as in pick them off the actual flower. I picked them off the ground. Put something in here that I can use. Let me have a look in here then. Ah, perfect. So that will inspire me most definitely to get in there and really be inspired to craft. So that is what I wanted to do. When you buy something, the logic is, right, when I buy something, it's always wrapped really nice, and everybody takes their time into wrapping everything really beautiful for you. And then when you receive it, you're so excited to get in it because it's things perhaps you have seen before, but it's because it's wrapped up, I find. If it was just chucked in a box, then I wouldn't feel inspired. But anything wrapped that's been somebody's taken the time, I always get inspiration from it. So my idea is, now I've sewn my little inspiration booklet, and tomorrow I have the ephemera sort of thing to start filling this little booklet up. I'm not going to overwhelm myself with what's in the drawers or what I need to get out or anything like that. It's just literally going to be me building this little booklet up so I can make my journal. Now it might take a couple of videos. I do want to, do the process with you all, but I don't really want to bore you in the same process. So I'm going to try and speed stuff up as best as I can, but I definitely want you to see the process of where I'm going, because every time I've thought of a journal to make, see if you think the same, right? Every time I've thought of a journal, I'm like, yeah, I want to make that, but it's where do you begin? What do you pick up first? How do you build it up? And it's that kind of, I know how to make a journal, but it's that overwhelming feeling that sometimes blocks my mind into actually picking a journal up. So I've created the pages, and then I've created all this, and all this will be popped into my little booklet. If I want to add any more flowers I can, but that's the idea. I'm going to make it sort of like antique vintage. I've got some vintage fabrics. I might cut out after this now and pop some vintage fabrics. So I'll, yeah, I shall see you all. This is going up Thursday, so I'll see you all on Sunday, the next step. It'll be sort of like a series, and I'm hoping once it's finished, my idea, or many of my ideas, will come to be in the journal. It'll all sort of fit in somehow. So yeah, let me know what you think, and I will speak to you all in my next video. Let me know what you think of this idea, and whether you get inspired by somebody packing up something beautifully. I also want to say, while I've got everybody, I've got a huge apology to make. I am not receiving my comments on my YouTube videos. I don't know whether I've knocked something off, but I don't seem to be getting the comments. So what I did, I'm trying to get it up, is, there you go, is I downloaded something called, on my phone, YT Studio, and it brings up basically, yeah, analytics, I think I've said that right, of your channel, but also it does also bring up your comments, how many comments you've had, and then you're able to reply. So I'm finding this a lot easier, because for some reason I just wasn't getting notified when you guys were commenting. So my apologies, but if anybody's looking to download this, it's called YT Studio, and you can sync it with your own channel, and you can get notified then every time there's a comment or a like, and it's all in one place. You haven't even got to look at the dashboard computer to see what's going on. So I will love and leave you all till my next video. I am really inspired now. I can't wait to get in there, and it's me that's put it together, but I'm really looking forward to building nice little, I still don't know what to call it, but I have to come up with something, this little booklet up to be able to fill my journal up. So I hope you all join me on this series. Have a lovely day, and please let me know what you think of this idea, and I would love to hear from you. So speak to you all soon. Take care. Bye for now.